And that's not going to change anything. Whether or not I'm wearing a short skirt or
misogynist
a long
version
skirt,
of it.
a man that wants to do something to me is going to do it regardless. Is going to try to do it regardless. It's not my skirt that's going to make a difference.
Because otherwise in Saudi, no woman would be raped, right?
Thank you.
I mean, women are still raped there, covered from top to toe.
But we have to change the way we think and automatically look at any case where a victim comes forward in being like, that person is guilty. That person is guilty, not the victim, obviously. That person is guilty until proven otherwise. But even that, I just want to say, it is so complicated, so hard, so humiliating, so traumatic to even come forward when something has happened to you. I don't understand anybody that is actually sane that would want to do that. Do you get what I'm saying? That would want to do that just for the hell of it, or just to, do you know what I mean? There are more, and people still today think more that there are women actually, more women that are actually lying. You know what I mean? Or lying about this.
Do that for attention.
It goes back to what you said. It goes back to what you said on the. I think you said the breaking of the spirit. It goes back to that. I mean, my ex-husband, may his soul rest in peace, used to say to me that I used to ask him, but what are you doing to me and why are you doing it? And he used to say, I'm breaking your spirit. And he would quote legal terms. I mean, he was a qualified lawyer. He would quote legal terms that talk to that. He'd say, no, I'm breaking your spirit. As a result, I went actually just informally studied criminology to understand exactly what he was doing to me. Because remember, we dig from the womb for power, for strength, for just to sustain our souls. We dig from there. So they understand that, by the way, and they do reverse psychology on us in terms of that. And now we constantly have to prove ourselves. I always say that to my partner, to say, it's such a pity that as women, we seem to be, we talk a lot. They say that we talk a lot, but because we constantly have to explain ourselves, we constantly have to prove ourselves. We have to prove ourselves in terms of gender. We have to prove ourselves intellectually, and we have to prove ourselves, just in terms of association and what we stand for.
Sexuality.
So even your story, you have to prove it. You have to prove yourself. I can tell you this much, that had it not been for me, had it not been for technology and witnesses and the fact that I just rarely ever go anywhere alone for security reasons, I would be locked up in a madhouse, because my stories are so crazy, unbelievable. That is why I thought, it just happened one day. I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to turn my story into currency. I'm going to monetize it. I'm going to tell the story. That will be justice to me in the absence of real justice taking place.
You mean as a book?
Yeah, as a book, as a film, as a documentary, in many forms. And that's how this whole journey of setting up tournaments and films and all of that started, because I was like, why not? How can I empower myself and empower others?
The power of your story is that you won against this army of men. You won, and that's why I think it's so important to get your story out there across South Africa, where every 28 seconds a woman is a victim. For women to fathom in their realm that that's a possibility. For every judge that didn't want you to win and was bribed by these motherfuckers. For every other woman in the office that was also bought by these guys, because I knew exactly what was going on. We also have to understand, in places where economic power, a lot of women are disadvantaged, it's easy to little chicken change buys a woman. That's why it's important you one day make this story into a book, into a movie, so a lot of women out there understand I can. And a lot of men out there understand you may go to war with us, but you're not going to win.
Yeah,
that needs to become the new standard. Names will be called, judges will be called, and we are bigger than South Africa now. We're global. We're global. Global voices. End of story.
Yep. Yeah, powerful ladies, powerful. I don't know if there's anything else. I think I'm getting a signal on time from our timekeeper. If there's anything else that you want to throw in, obviously this was an introduction to the trilogy. We'll still have another session where we now go deeper into
our trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we'll go deeper into the economic,
Trilogy.
the
Briefly,
intellectual.
so viewers will understand.
Okay, I think
We wanted to dismantle the layers. Harassment is
Yeah.
so layered. Sexism is so layered. Abuse is so layered. And we wanted to introduce, but we realized we can't cover it in one Zoom call. We all have our personal stories. We're not coming to this topic as an observer. We're coming to this topic as an expert
Yeah.
from experience.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all experienced economic sexism, where we were harassed in our workplaces.
Mhm.
We've all experienced harassment in the home by somebody that impostered as a partner. We've all experienced psychological breakdown according by the books, and my brother had to make that clear to me. There are books out there how to psychologically, systematically break down a woman. The Art of War, or I don't know these books, and men read these books.
I've read some of those books because I needed to understand what's been done to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Maybe I should also read it, because to this day I don't understand it. And so we felt the need to even unpack this, categorize it a little bit in order to understand how layered it is, how we're constantly being attacked. There is a medical war on the women. We're being attacked in the medical realm, right? This is totally capitalized. You know, the womb is being capitalized.
Oh yeah, it's a huge.
Everything is capitalized by patriarchy. This is $1 billion in subjugated. Their body parts are taken out just for the sake of money. They're kept in constantly loophole, domestic violence, at the workplace violence, as if we're not fighting against enough. We're getting half of the salaries or a fraction of the salaries for putting in double the work. Plus we've got to be touched up. And if we complain, then that's the job gone, you know? So we wanted to dissect it, and we felt, okay, if we break this up into a trilogy, it will be most constructive, because we need to bring a little bit of structure to it in order for other women to understand, and in order for those that do have our back with us, because they were raised by loving mothers and loving fathers. They were actually raised themselves through boyhood into manhood, and who will also take a stand in raising these toddlers in giant adult-sized costumes that are still running amok out there.
I call them overgrown fetuses.
Yeah, overgrown fetuses. Really, that's what they are, because they're constantly fed by something, and by sexual energy, because they can't control it clearly, right? So they're constantly, it's like they shouldn't have been weaned off their mother's breast, because now they're going rampant from woman to woman. It's something that they still need of. And so we felt we need to dissect it in order to give other women the understanding of the mechanism that's often behind it, and that often similar, and the terminology, because often we lack the words. We don't even understand where the boundaries were. I needed to sometimes hear it from an objective person that listened to my story to put it into perspective to me, because sometimes as one of the protagonists in it, you don't see it objectively, and hence we decided to make this a trilogy. This is an introduction of the trilogy, because we're going to dismantle economic rape. What you experience is economic rape. If they go after your clients, slander your name, it's economic rape. If they physically touch you in any formal way, this is physical rape. And if they dismantle your spirit, this is spiritual rape. And physical rape destroys the spirit. It is often a death of the spirit that a lot of women not recover from in one lifetime, right? It sets you at a disadvantage, because you invest years of your time that you will never get back.
You never get back.
You invest your personal resources into healing. You don't get back the money, you don't get it at an economic disadvantage. Then society spins that and sends you back even further. You know,
and you must still fight, to make sure that you don't pass it down. to the next generation, you must still fight to cleanse and heal that curse, which is a lot of work.
A lot of work. A lifetime.
Yeah, it's a whole lifetime. It's a whole lifetime, especially because our mothers were silent about it. So
our work, and
we have to do the heavy lifting. Yeah.
Of those who came before us as well, who didn't have these platforms, who didn't have their voices heard. Our mothers had no access to this. Our grandmothers had no access to this. You know.
Yeah. That's it. So I think that's it. We can wrap it there, Marie. Any last words from you before I introduce myself? I've just realized I forgot to introduce myself.
Oh, so sorry.
Went right into it. Over to you, Marie.
But can you all hear me normally? Because I think on my side, so I hope that you guys can still see me. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I hear you.
Can you see me?
I can see you now, yes.
Okay. No, absolutely. That's it. I mean, Malin said it all, and we all, this was amazing. And if this is just the intro, imagine what else, what's coming. So I'm really happy to be a part of this. And I think that it's so very important beyond anything that we could possibly imagine.
Beautiful people out there.
Yeah.
Closing words. Stand up for what's right. Try to put yourself momentarily into another person's shoes. Try to put yourself into the shoes of someone whose power is stripped away because they're at a physical, economical, or whatever disadvantage, and hence become vulnerable in a moment, you know. And whilst we may not be at an economic disadvantage, but we physically will not be able to fight off a man, right? And so don't just dismiss a story, you know. It's really, really hard. It weighs heavy on you, this level of trauma, because you're being depraved. Something is chosen for you that you didn't consent to.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I see we've lost Marie, but I think we're done in any case. My name is Ambassador Dr. Kumoitsile Moetse. A lot of people call me Kumo or Dr. K. I don't mind at all. I'm a humanitarian. I'm a social activist. I'm a fundraiser, run the Africa Media Fund. And more than anything, really, I'm just a servant of humanity. And I'm here to serve and share my story and make sure that we put a stop to gender-based violence in our lifetime. Really, that's what we're doing. Sharing our stories. We encourage all of you to share your stories, collaborate, empower one another, have these conversations in whatever circles, wherever you are, have these conversations, because that's half the battle won, and that's half the victory. And we'll see you next time.